learn, network, and party.
I'm fasting 16 hours a day, eating only 8 hours a day.
Yeah. So food is a very interesting topic.
Everybody was just running out for the food. It was like amazing because
I started in B&H photo.
wow.
I see a deal, I buy it. We'll figure it out later. Why do people buy jeans that are just what it is? It doesn't make sense. All you need to do is do it.
Right. Welcome to another episode of Positivity. Thank you for watching. I want to remind you to please like, share, and subscribe to the podcast. That helps us out. That helps build a community. Mac, you have a genuine happiness, a good energy from the moment I met you. Is this something that you work on? Is it naturally within you? How do you keep that positive energy and vibe that most people, when they see you, say, I want to have that kind of energy?
Interesting question, because to be honest, because you know it, because when I'm with you, like
yeah, there's something happening.
I feed up from you, but estamos I don't know. It's just that I think it's because I don't take things too serious, like personal and serious.
Right.
So it's like let me.
Is that from experience? Like you've had certain things in your
possible,
life?
Yeah. I think the past certain things came and whatever, so it made me feel like, you know what, let everything go and
Wow.
just enjoy
Surrender.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's really beautiful. I've told you many times that you really look like perfect. You have beautiful pious, you have nice dimples, you look great. How does it feel to be such a perfect human? Like some would say, like God showed off when he made you, something like that. How does it feel to be like perfect?
I don't know. It's good to know, because for me personally, when I walk into, I have no idea how I look. Like I'm like, okay, it's just another
As
person.
the first time you're hearing such a nice comment?
So I heard people hint, but you were like.
I love you, man.
Mensen beginnen maar aan, beginnen naar roze kleur.
The wood of my yacht, I have him, my good friend Mac Schlesinger. I've known him for many years, and Mac is the founder and producer, the arranger of many exhibits that we know now. The umbrella brand is called Powwow Events. Some of the shows that they do is healthcare show, and they do the re-beach and the re-deal, which is very popular and is always sold out, and way too many people show up in a good sense. And they had the Kosher Palooza last year, which was very popular, among many other businesses and things that he's involved. He's also a very successful and talented musician. I remember last year you had a chasana with Mechul actually in the backyard, right? That was a nice wedding. I think that was L'Shem Mitzvah, so you do a lot of mitzvahs. And he plays multiple instruments, and maybe we'll get to see later. So I'm very happy. And most of all, Mac is just a happy and exciting person, and I felt like it's just in time now, not that you're a clown, but I'm feeling like for Peter, when the energy and the mood is positive, is to bring up somebody that has such a positive energy. So I'm curious, Mac, about the shows. I think that people, which is what I didn't mention yet in the intro, he is also an entrepreneur, and that, I think I did mention it. So an entrepreneur, which means that he's constantly busy with business ideas, new events, new concepts, and in the entrepreneurial spirit. He's very well known on LinkedIn and on Instagram and on different platforms as a hustler, a creative person. So what are some of the things that you're working on now? I know there's a show coming up in another 3 weeks, I think, right? A re-deal.
Yeah, it's interesting because at this point I'm kind of confused, like what's coming up now, because it's like non-stop.
Right, I saw 8 shows coming up.
Yeah.
8 shows that this guy, I don't know, how do you sleep at night, by the way? 8 shows? I know if I have one podcast coming up, I can get a little bit like stressed out. How do you do 8 shows where every show thousands of people show up? And every show is an entirely different concept. You mentioned to me you're working on a show. Oh, I saw this already. I think it's public. A show just for women owners. Yeah. I think that's genius because there's so many. So talk to us a little bit about the shows and how you sleep at night.
It's a different podcast, but I don't know. I think because first of all, obviously I'm not doing it myself. I have 2 great partners that we work together, and we each push each other in different directions. Everyone has their specialty and their thing, and together we go fast and we move. That's a big help, how we can do so many things at once. But Baruch Hashem, I mean, I'm not sure if you kind of have time to go back and when it started, like how it started and how people got excited, and it's basically
Yeah, when did people get excited about
yeah,
shows?
it's
I mean,
basically
it started, I think, with Amazon shows.
yeah.
Okay.
So it's basically the people they keep pushing us like we have this or we have that, and so it's like yeah, it started all with Amazon because the three of us we all like our companies, I mean our services, whatever is all on Amazon. Like I mean the last 10 years I only did Amazon. Like I was only about Amazon. I started as a seller, then I went into a service company, opened a few service companies, and then consulting, whatever. So as I got a little bit known in Amazon, people started asking, like, how about you do an event? It was actually right before COVID. I started doing events, but for me personally, I was like, I don't, I didn't know that part, but I was, by nature, I'm like a quiet, just for myself, a person. So it wasn't like now I'm gonna do events. I'm not gonna be all over. I'm gonna be public and this.
Oh, wow.
So it was a hard thing until I was actually right before COVID, and my partner Joe Wall, we used to be neighbors, like right across. And I think it started about there's one like about COVID. There was no events, no weddings. So I actually have like a big backyard here in Towns River. So we people ask me like do weddings. I did a wedding over there. I did a few events. So by one of the events, Joel came and we were there together, trying to like making like all these
Yeah.
statuses and this. And then it popped up the idea: how about we do the same thing for Amazon? Like it was, I think it was a real estate event. We do the same thing for Amazon. I mean, we didn't think like an expo and the whole thing. We just think like a nice backyard, chill and bring together.
Bringing people together.
Yeah, networking and some, you know. And so we started really thinking about it and working on it, like behind the scenes. And then we decided that this is how we brought in our third partner, Yuda Suskin.
Right.
So he did an event, I think a year or 2 years before, in Lakewood, for his whatever organization, Hope organization. And so we decided, you know what, he did it already. Let's reach out to him. Let's see what he has to say. So I think we reached out to him, and he said that, by the way, he didn't do it for 2 years. Yeah, it was 2 years. He didn't do it for 2 years, and he wanted to do it again, but he wasn't like sure, like if you can do it again, it's if people are interested, whatever. So he said that we are interested, we want to do it. How about we do it together?
Yeah.
But he said that if he's doing it, he doesn't want to do like a party, like a backyard. He wants to do like a real event, like with an expo. So we were like, because at that point I had like a very successful service company for Amazon. I was like busy with it all day. I was like, I couldn't see myself starting a new business now and get busy with events. And we kept talking with each other and we kept thinking about it. And the more we spoke about it, we got more excited. And we did the first event like 3 months after. We started planning in Lakewood. We decided, you know what, let's do it. Let's see what happens. And we did it. We put together a small event in that Eagle Ridge, whatever. And people got excited. They saw the energy, the whole vibe there, and plus the business part of it. And they kept telling us, and they would do it again, do it bigger, do it again.
Yeah.
So I think the next event was in Miami already, like Florida. So it was nice. So from there, it went on and on and on. I think we did like probably 7 or 8 Amazon events. And then I don't know, the whole industry shifted, and then we got approached by other industries to you guys do amazing events. How about you for our industry?
And what made the events amazing? Like, was it because what you brought, the connections or the ideas that you had or the energy that you brought? What defined those amazing events in the beginning, early on?
So early on, it was way different than now. I mean, now it's like we put in like so much effort in making the quality. And I think like back in the, I think it was more like the vibe that we put in, because I personally have that nature, and Joel also, and we have that nature that we can do things like just like a standard, regular. We have to do things out of the box. Like
Right.
It has to be something more than so. But the event, I guess people felt the energy, like when they walked in, it felt like they're not about just another random expo. It's boring. It makes business, you know.
Right.
I get a business card. It's like a vibe.
Yeah. Wow, very nice. And is it? Do people come to these events? You find they come for the people, or they come for the food, or for the music, or what's the?
I mean, so in the beginning, it wasn't so like a strict with who we want to invite, who we let in, who we don't let in. So it was more or less open. It was, everyone's. It was a big mixture. That's why our slogan used to be like a learn, network, and party. Like everyone came for a different reason. Some people came to learn, some people came to network, some people came to party. So it was open for everyone. And then we started doing the other the events in different industries like home care, healthcare, real estate. So these industries it needs to be more like exclusive because the vendors they expect like a real ROI, like a return on investment. They don't want people that come to party and walk the floor. So right now at this point we're very strict with the attendees, who we invite, who we let in, and we don't let in. It has to be like a real target.
You have to know that they will see an ROI.
Yeah.
And if not, then
they're just wasting.
Wow. So now you're still busy and involved with doing other companies, or you're still busy running some of your companies, or the shows kind of took over?
So in the beginning, I was very busy with other companies. I mean, that was my main thing. But as I got busy with events takes a lot of space, a lot of time. And so to Bislich, I started shifting over from the other companies and got more busy with events. But meanwhile, I found partners to be involved, like in the other companies, so they can run it, and I'm like.
I found it very interesting. I went to my first event around 2 years ago, I think, and I remember somebody invited me. It was Mordechai Langer. He does some events also, more focused on just like business networking. And he invited me. He's like, "Eli, you have good energy. Come over." And I was hesitant when I went. I had no idea, but I was like, I got invited. It stroked my ego. Like, okay, I'm gonna go. I remember going there, and the amount of people that walked over to me to tell me that they know me from here and there, social media. I was like so amazed, you know, and it that right away gave me that feeling. So I ended up making the first show I went to. I ended up meeting Yossi Itzkowitz, Toys for You, and he became my client for a couple of months. I did his social media, so that right away showed me, wow, look at this, like it can go places. And then I met somebody else. Then I met the owner of O-Nuts, and we did his social media for the month of Purim. But so I started seeing that, wow, it has people, I can meet people, I can connect with people, but I can also actually make real business from it. So I saw that networking events is very strong, and we know now that networking events can bring like crazy deals. I actually heard the story from one Pesa Oysher from Borough Park. They used to ask him, why do you go to every single show? He had like a plastic company or something. And I asked him, why do you go to every show? He said, because my plastic company was one of the companies that I had. It was a little company that was bought off, and I made like $40 million of it. Because one person came to the show, saw the company and the setup and the things that we offered, so they bought off the company. So people don't understand that when they go to a networking event, yes, it is a hit or miss, but it kind of is like, you can get very lucky at these shows. You don't exactly know how, but you can get lucky. It's not just about how many numbers you're getting or how many business cards. So I do agree shows are super powerful.
Yeah, it's funny because I always see it like it's not only about our events. Like any event that I go to, sometimes it's even like backyard event, like small networking event.
Yeah.
You always come out with some valuable like a connection or you heard something from someone. It's like very powerful. Yeah.
Right. Especially when you open yourself up that way, when when you have that kind of attitude, I did notice that food by events, people take that very to heart, and I understand why. Most of us, including myself, eat for emotional reasons. So they come to an event. I mean, now I stopped. That's why I can say that most of my life I ate for emotional reasons. Now I'm doing the intermittent fasting. You ever heard of that? Yeah. So I'm not eating now. I'm only drinking. I don't eat from after 8 o'clock until the next day, 12 o'clock. So I'm fasting 16 hours a day, eating only 8 hours a day. And I'm doing it for the discipline. Like my mouth is shut. And it's funny how I notice when I get hungry, what comes up. Like I'm hungry, I want to eat to fill what? But can you talk about food at events? Because I know that's like huge. I remember the Reed Beach I went to, and you were serving food, and everybody was just running out for the food. It was like amazing because you see like older people, younger people, men, women, everybody's rushing to the food. And over there, you did very smart because people were hungry. And then I remember within a few minutes, you made a phone call to somebody and they bought meat boards and fish boards.
So
there was so much food over there. But what's the story with food?
Food is a very interesting topic.
Are you a foodie, by the way?
Yeah, but
okay.
at the same time, I'm not sure.
No, it's my fault.
I'm not sure if I looked apart, but by the way, the intermittent fast is also something that I did recently. I did it also more for the discipline, like the mental discipline. Like you don't have to eat now, you can't eat. Like,
how did it work for you, by the way?
It worked amazing. Like I lost like I think 30 pounds.
Wow! How long did you do it for?
I started a pint after pints. Like I was and I'm done. Like after pints, I'm gonna do it. So I started doing it and I worked out a little bit, and then about 3 years I was like way different.
Wow.
It's also the mental part, like it makes you so much stronger.
Right.
And then,
yeah.
So, so the
food that shows.
Yeah, so the food that shows is very sensitive because people are like, actual food makes the mood.
Right.
But at the same time, people don't come for the food, like they come to make business, especially the exhibitors. They come to get business, but it's like a balance, like a for business, but it has to be food. So it's something that we constantly learn, like when to serve food, when to start serving food, the beginning of the day, middle of the day. So sometimes it's a hit and miss, but by now, we're getting there. Especially you mentioned the rebates last year.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounded good for whatever. I guess you didn't feel it. Not everyone felt it, but there was a big miss with the food. Whatever. It was also with the timing. It came late and it was all at once. So people got into this. You had to wait in the line. So that's something also that we keep improving.
It's all bashert. In my opinion, the reason why the show was so successful and why it's so successful this year is because of that thing with the food.
Yeah.
Because it gives us something to remember. It's like when you go to Montreal and you have a flat tire on the way and you remember that trip forever. Exactly. I had it a few years ago. I went to Montreal. It took us 12 hours to get there. It was a snowstorm. I can never forget that trip.
If everything goes smooth, it's like...
Yeah. I spoke about this. I remember you were sitting at the show over there together with Joel and Yisrael, you said his name? Yehuda. And I remember talking to you guys, telling you like how perfect this is. Because I feel like Joel, like... I love him. I feel like he gets so, he's so invested in the show. He gets knocked out when the show comes. And that's my next question. I feel like when I go to events, after a couple of hours, the drainage is unbelievable. Yeah. So why does that happen, number one, and how do you deal with it? So why do people get so exhausted?
He deals with it with the couch.
Yeah, right. You always find somewhere to take a nap. I love
the couch. People don't realize it comes from. I'll get into it, but it's a real thing because event. I mean, for us, with events on the day of the event, it's after like 3 months of working like non-stop.
You're always there the day before.
Yeah,
usually you
plus
sleep there.
That week, like we work night, we don't sleep. Like it's non-stop. We're prepping everything, make sure everything gets on time. We're hiring people. It's a whole thing. So on the day of the event, we're kind of like exhausted, but we have to be there like fully. People should notice that we are exhausted. So that's for me the couch, especially it's not only the couch. It's also the day after the event. My partners know when the day after the event they can't talk to me. Like I'm like shut. Like I'm shut down, and I think especially me more than them. Because I think it has to do with the introvert, extrovert, like when you get your energy. For me, I'm an introvert, so when I'm like between people, like I talk a lot with people, my energy gets drained. So after the event, usually I sleep over either wherever, somewhere next to the venue, and I'm like all by myself. I don't want to talk to anyone. I don't want to hear anything.
Wow.
And so the couch is also the couch happened by accident by one of the events. That I was like in the middle of the day, I was shut down, and I didn't even realize I was sleeping on the couch. All of a sudden, someone wakes me up, like, but I was showing a video. So since then, sometimes it's a joke. Whatever.
They were showing you. What was the story? They were showing you that they were looking for you.
They were looking for me. All of a sudden, they found me on the couch.
On the couch.
And for me, it was like I needed like a middle of the day, like a energy, like a.
It shows how real you are. That you were like that little kid that zones off by the mitzvah times. You were on the couch.
That's what it was. Yeah. So it's very exhausting mentally, especially for me as I'm not really like the. I mean, I like to talk to people, but it drains me like a lot. So.
Wow.
But
So how do you handle it? I mean, do you have like a specific procedure? I can tell you how I deal with it. I go to shows and I don't spend over there more than 60 minutes. People don't know this. They think is dat bij de ganze show. No.
I can do that.
I go there. Another thing I changed is I don't go there to give. I go there to get.
Like, so you don't like come
ja, ik dacht I'm busy. No, I'm there to get Kim.
Very good. No, but I can't do it because I have to be there all day.
Right, and you're
the night
giving
before and the night after.
Right.
So that's why the day after I use it to recharge.
Yeah.
And then we go right to the next event.
Wow.
No stuff.
What about I'm curious. Does these shows give you anxiety? Do you like ruminate or catastrophize like how bad it can go or not? Are you an anxious person in general? Would you consider yourself that?
Yeah, I'm a kind of relative because on one side I try to have betoch and the other side, and naturally it's always like that, because especially in events, because until like the day before the event, you have no idea how it's gonna be, because people usually register like the last day.
What's up with that, by the way? I can understand. I register last minute, but how does it work for you guys?
Everyone says the same thing. Like, I
right. So why? But why? I mean, you think that people just don't know what they're gonna be doing that day or their mood? I know, but for me, it's like a mood thing. Wieso weiß ich, ich an the mood and zwei gedoe maar in, die Mac Schlesinger like.
People don't like to commit before this. So
but then the day of, the FOMO kicks in and they run to register.
And so that's why for us it's very hard to know, because first of all we have to order things according to how many people we're having. So we really have to do it with we're going to have 800 people, whatever many people want to have.
You have to mamish, as they say, guesstimate.
Yeah, because we have to order food accordingly. We have to. So that's why some of the events, like with that event, we had to run in the middle of the event. We had to. I
remember that event. Was like limited, I think 500 people, but the day of 1,000 people showed up, and you guys didn't know what to say even at the door. Like it was.
But we made it happen. We called a few vendors and
I remember. Some people showed up, and it was. It was also very cool. You set up a bachi over there.
Yeah.
That was crazy. It's a crazy idea.
And it was on a nice station. The bachi station and a smoke station. And
Is it being in the same location this year?
No.
Oh wow.
So very nice. It's not going to be outdoors. Whatever.
So many of the people, of the listeners that we have, are entrepreneurs. And I'm curious if you can give them some advice or perhaps talk about how you started as an entrepreneur. When did you probably worked a job once?
Yeah.
What was that job, and how did you get into business, and how do you deal with the ups and downs?
I don't know. You remind me of some trauma and stuff. I thought that it's good to go back and remind yourself, like usually you don't, because you always focus on what's next, but then slow down, go back, see where you started, what happened, how did you go about it. So for me, I'm trying to remember. So I started like working with them in general. I started in B&H photo.
Wow.
Like every other.
Wow, very nice. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I was still a booker back then, like I don't know, like 50 years ago, let's say. And I was starting B&H, and
you were boeker 15 years ago, okay.
13, whatever. So so I was starting there, and then I got married. And I was working, upgrading, like the next job, I was like, I had the dream, okay, B&H. I didn't know more, so I was like, okay, eventually I'm gonna grow, I'm gonna become a manager, I'm gonna become
this. What did you do by B&H, by the way?
So I started, since I was a worker, I was starting with the lowest job in the warehouse, schlepping it back, so like,
wow.
Yeah.
Although you say like B&H, but you were doing, wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, okay. So they put me in an old environment. So when I got married, a few months after, they brought me up to sales, like sales on the store. So I came out, a nice vest, the different this.
And how did that work with your nature of being an introvert?
So that also, I needed a couch every year. So it was interesting because I had to speak with people, and it actually helped me like socially, like to start talking, because I was always like quiet and shy behind the scenes, and so it pushed me like to start talking to people and get comfortable with people. So I did that. Eventually, I got bored of it. I was like, okay, what's next? And this is what I'm going to do the rest of my life. Like, that makes sense. So I started dreaming and thinking. I remember like I used to run out for my lunch break in Manhattan. So I don't know, like I was searching online for a career coach. Like I was since I was a booker, I was out from Monroe. I didn't know what my specialty, what my talent is. I have no idea.
No.
So I was searching. So I went to that coach and I told him, listen, I want to become something. I don't know what, but I feel like I'm stuck here. Like I don't know what to do. But then we started asking questions and that. It didn't really do much, but at least it opened me up, like the idea that you want something. So as I was searching, things came up. Like I always know that I was good with phones, internet, and I mean it was new. Internet, the ganze Sachen, and finding things and selling things and this. So I started playing around with some online stuff. I remember one interesting story that I have one sugar. He's like older sugar. He was always believing me somehow, and he told me one day that you can do it. Like, you're very good, like online selling. I think one day you should go to a mall or whatever, buy stuff for cheap, and figure it out. Like jump on it. So one day I woke up like 5 o'clock in the morning, and I went to Woodbury Commons in Monroe, Woodbury Commons Mall, and I didn't know what I'm gonna do. He told me go to every store and find deals and try to sell it. So this is what I did. I woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I went to the mall. I started shopping and I bought jeans and shirts and hats. I had no idea. Back then, I mean, numbers-wise, I wasn't sure like what means like a good deal or profit. I see a deal, I buy it. We'll figure it out later. But it's funny that day I also started realizing that once you jump into something, things start coming your way.
Yeah.
Because for example, I remember I was walking around the mall and I was like, okay, the mall is there, but what else can I do to find deals? Like my mind started opening. Oh, right. I need to find deals. So I remember I was searching online, cheap clothing locally and whatever. Then I found out about
How do you even have a smartphone then? 13 years ago? Okay, the iPhone.
Don't tell me because a lot of people. I don't know if my yeah. So
you're searching good deals.
The Pound Century. Remember the Pound Century?
Yeah.
So yeah, I was searching online, and then I saw a store. It's called Thrift Shop.
Okay.
Is it good?
I don't know.
Okay, but it's like a shop that has like all like secondhand clothing, secondhand stuff. So it was interesting to me. So I was like, okay, you know, I searched the address. I left the mall. I went over there. I came in there. I saw like a big store with a lot of clothing, nice clothing, like nice quality bags, like brand name bags, glasses, everything for dirt cheap. I was like, wow, maybe this is like a gold mine. I don't know. Am I the only one that knows about the store? So I bought a lot of things. I remember I still have some stuff in my basement over there, just as a souvenir. That this is where I started. Yeah, bottom line, I took home the stuff. I had a deal. I had some deals, and I bought like a camera. I was in B&H.
Right.
I bought a used camera, and I took some pictures, put it on my eBay account, and it started selling. Like people buy.
Really?
Yeah, I was so shocked. Like, why do people buy jeans that I just bought in this? It doesn't make sense. But it was interesting. Like it gave me the confidence. Wow, it's working. Like all you need to do is do it.
Right.
And it works.
All you need to do is do it. This is the name of the B'ezras Hashem of the podcast. All you need to do is do it.
Yeah, that's what it is.
I also love that you said one good thing opens you up and leads you to so many other good things. That's amazing. People don't get it. Like, just start.
Yeah,
they look for the logo and they look for the website. They just do it. Just sell.
Yeah, the same thing with the men's also. Sometimes we jump into the industry, we have no idea. People
I can see that. You guys come up with a name and then the rest follows. Like I said, see the reaction, see the opportunities that come. Wow. Okay, so you started selling on eBay, and then I guess...
so I started thinking this.
It's funny, eBay is still surviving. It's still a platform. Still good.
Back then it was very more popular.
Yeah,
I mean,
that was the only thing. Yeah.
Amazon was still like, it wasn't even, I didn't even know about Amazon. So, so as I kept doing it. I remember I was in B&H, so I used to go with the bus, and I had to ship out the stuff, like all the stuff. So by B&H, there's a post office right next door.
You literally did everything.
I came to B&H with a shopping bag with stuff, a garbage bag of stuff.
Like Jeff Bezos?
Mac Bezos, yeah. I used to it came in the bag, and then my lunch break, I used to go across the street to the post office, ship it out.
Wow.
It was fun. So that's what I think it's also a thing that I don't know if I mean I'm sure not only every this has it that you do something, then you get bored of it, like you want more, like it wasn't. So that's also like I kept doing it. I was like, okay, what's next? Like, I want something bigger, something more. So I started looking into it. Then Amazon started becoming like a thing. So I started getting interested in it because at that point I wanted to quit being it. I was like, I'm stuck here. I don't see any future here.
Yeah.
I'm just wasting my days here. So I was looking for something, but I didn't have something to push me out and give me, let me do something. So I remember that for Amazon, it started becoming like a thing. So someone started doing like courses or whatever. So I took one of the courses just to get a feel of it, and I was really getting excited about it. Like, wow, you can bring your stuff from China. I felt like a real millionaire, like a businessman.
Yeah.
Ja, sorry. Ik came echt from China and I'm selling it. I built my own brand. I made my logo.
Yeah.
So I was doing like part-time from B&H, and then I kept getting more and more like I have to leave. So and it was interesting that I felt like I can't just quit B&H just to go sell on Amazon when I'm not making money. And so I decided I lived in Muncie at that point. I need to find some sort of like a part-time job to do it. So I was looking for jobs, and then I found a job in a restaurant, like a steakhouse in Muncie. I had no idea about the restaurant and nothing. I came to an interview. He's like, yeah, this guy, okay, he looks good. I think he can manage a restaurant. So I quit B&H all of a sudden, and I'm gonna work in a restaurant. And meanwhile, I'm gonna work like in Amazon. So by the time I was working in the restaurant, I was supposed to get trained, like managed and the ganze Sache. But meanwhile, I was busy, like I was so into the Amazon thing. Wow, China and this. But it didn't take long for the restaurant to realize, okay, this guy is not. One day I came there, it was actually a heavy snowstorm. I came like I'm motivated. I wanted to show them I'm coming. Like even if it's the weather, I'm not supposed to come, but I'm here. Okay. The guy waits me by the door with a paper. Sorry, you're a great guy, but this place is not for you. Here's a paper with three. They're actually nice to give me like some options of a job.
Oh,
Here are
wow.
3 options. I know they're looking for a worker. Maybe you can try. And it's all of a sudden, one day to the next.
Wow.
And I was like, wow, what's there? Like, I was starting to think, should I go back to
What did you
B&H?
drive at that time? I'm just curious.
I think it was still the old station wagon. I had like a station wagon.
Really? Wow.
The Volvo. Then I had the orange Volvo. Remember
I don't know.
Yeah, it's it.
Wow.
Yeah. So all of a sudden, out of a job. So I didn't know where to go. Like, should I go back to B&H? After all, I'm already married. I think I had 2 kids at that one.
Wow.
I have expenses. Like, I can't just be without a job. Like, around me. And what if I was thinking B&H, Amazon? Like, should I take it? Should I start taking it serious and get it? I mean, so I did. I took an office, like a basement in Muncie. I think it was $200 a month. I was like, you know what? I don't have a job anyways. Let me try to focus on that. Let's see where it takes me. So I was getting more into it and this. And meanwhile, I was doing like I signed up to all car services in Muncie. I told them that whenever you need a trip, let me know, like a long distance, let me know. So I remember I used to run out a trip to Manhattan, a trip to here and there. And meanwhile, I was working.
As you were driving your clients on the
Yeah.
FDR, you were checking your phone and looking for deals.
My Chinese manufacturer just was fun. Okay, all those other customers. I know you have to get to the hospital. That's it. Yeah, it was fun. And yeah, so I got into the Amazon and I got more into it. Then after a few months doing it, I was really like, okay, wait a second, I'm doing Amazon here. I'm not making money. I was making money, but for the expenses that I had, like a monthly and 2 kids, and this, so it was hard. So it's kind of at a stage where, what am I doing here? I need to get like a real. I need to make at least $2,000 a week in order to survive. And I was making barely like a few $100s. So because I reinvested, like expanded new brands. So I was kind of forced to take another job. I couldn't believe it. Like it was such a hard day because I was I think over a year, no, approximately a year without a job, without a boss. I felt, I mean, from one side, felt so like relieved, like my own this, but from the other side, there's no money. Like, so I had to take a job. I was looking for searching, and then I found a job. Since I had some experience with Amazon, some people knew about it, so they told me. So someone had like a big Amazon company, and he knew that he needed someone for that, like to run this. So I went for an interview. I showed them what I did, like the pictures and the graphics and the content, the creative stuff. So he told me, you know what, we need someone to. So they were more active on eBay. They wanted to get it strong on Amazon. So I said, I wanted someone to take our eBay stuff and put it onto Amazon and focus and build it up. So that's what I did. And I think I was doing a great job there. But also after a year doing it, I was like getting bored. I was like, okay, what's next? Like I need to grow something. So I went to the guy. I told him, like, listen, at this point, I feel like I'm not sure what I'm doing. I built up your business. I'm still making the same amount of money, $800 a week.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make sense. Either I get a raise, like you make me, like, I don't know, make me a partner or something. You know, it should be worth it.
Yeah.
So he said, yeah, maybe it is. He kept pushing it, and then he's like, I saw that it's not going anywhere. So meanwhile, I guess it was an ex-worker, co-worker over there from that company. He left and he started working with a different company, and he knew basically the work that I did with that company, with the Amazon listings, the content, the pictures, and building up the SEO and stuff like that. So he asked me on the side to do it for him, for his company, like on the side. And I was doing it, and it was nice. And then somehow it leaked out among Amazon sellers that I'm doing listings.
Yeah.
I had no idea. It was like a group, so WhatsApp. So it leaked out that Mac Schlesinger does listings. So people started calling me like, I hear you do listings. I was like, no, I don't do listing. I don't know. And they say, I have a job. Like, what is it? And then I saw people are interested. I was like, wow, maybe it's a sign that this is what it is. Because I wanted to leave that job because I didn't see any potential. And here I have the experience from listings. So started asking. So one day, someone called me up. If I do listings, I decided, you know what? Let me say yes. Let's see what happens. So I said yes. Yeah, I'm doing listing. Yeah. How can I help you? He told me, listen, I have a big company, a lot of listings. I'm gonna give you one product as a test, and we'll see how it goes. So he gave me a product, and I did a listing like over the weekend, like Friday. What's the Shabbos? I was working, and he was happy. And he told me, by the way, I have, I'm very happy with the job. Here's like 30 more products to work to make listings.
Wow.
I was like, at that point, I was like, okay, wait a second. I have 30 listings to do. I have a full-time job. And the listing has to be done in a week. Like, I can't tell him like it's going to be done in 3 months because I have a job. He didn't know I have a job. He thought that this is what I'm doing for a business.
Yeah.
And I pretended that this is my business. And so I tried to figure out whatever. And that kind of pushed me to, maybe I can quit a job and start doing it.
Yeah.
So this is what I did. I wanted the next. I came to the office. I didn't even plan it. I was like, I'm sitting here. I just stood up from my chair. I went to this office. I told him. I was so nervous. I kept walking back and forth. Shall I go? Shall I do it? Shall I not? I knocked in. I took a carriage. I told him, listen, this is not working for me. I'm leaving. They asked me to stay for 2 weeks, whatever, to train someone. So I did it. And meanwhile, I was working all night to finish the 30 listings.
Yeah.
And I did it. It was fine. At that time, I quit, and the 30 listings were done. I was like, okay, I quit my job. I did 30 listings. What's not? Like, I don't have more listings. So I told the guy, "Do you have more listings?" Like, I didn't want to get stuck without nothing. So he said, "Yeah. I mean, first let's get it 30 started." And at that point, I quit my job, and I felt like I had to do something to get out of it, like to tell people that I do it. So that was actually the point where I started. I got the push to get out there, like LinkedIn started, and because I felt forced, like I need to do something to tell people that I'm doing it. So I did that, and I started posting on the WhatsApp groups, like Amazon groups. I made up like messages. I made up a name quickly, like I got bestseller listers, and a logo myself quickly. And I was trying to pretend that I'm doing it. And it's funny because people started calling me for, because the Amazon sellers were like real companies, and they started calling me for a meeting. Okay, let's cool down the listing guy,
Yeah.
and let's see what can help us. I had no idea what it is. All I know is like I made the listings, and I didn't have like a real business and stuff, so I had to pretend, and it was working. And Baruch Hashem, as time went on, I built up a nice business. Amazon marketing started from the listing, then I had a picture, a video, that I added all these
Oh, wow.
different stuff, so it became like a real thing. And yeah, so that's when actually I got started getting active on LinkedIn and then social media, like it's just to get the word out, and all of a sudden it became a thing.
Wow. Impressive story. Thank you for sharing. I love it because it really describes the story, not just of an entrepreneur, but also of a Hasidic entrepreneur.
Yeah, right.
And
You
it's
come
just
out,
like,
you
yeah,
don't-
like, and this is, you gave the story just the things that happened, but nobody understands or will ever know the hardships, the doubts, the anxiety,
Sure.
the times you needed to borrow money to pay your rent,
Right.
the times you didn't have money to bring home to your kids, whatever it was, the times that you needed, that you went to the Rivna Tzatzian to
Yeah.
just cry over there that I need
Right.
help, or the times that you davened to Hashem, obviously, and asked him, please, please, I want to see this. And all these little coincidences, they say, you know, Albert Einstein says, coincidence is God's way of staying anonymous. Weißt du, ich meine?
Yeah,
Like
like
pink
that.
the shame, pink and pink.
Right.
It's all connected one to another. So I think your story is really impressive. I'm curious. A lot of people I heard lately that Amazon became a little bit more difficult. Do you still think it's an idea for people to go into Amazon if they can, or did it become more difficult? How did it change from when you started?
Yeah, I mean, it's totally way different then. I mean, it's like two different industries at this point from when I started to how it's now. And to be honest, when people still call me about Amazon advice, and I always tell them, like, if it's someone new, like he just wanted to get into Amazon because he's bored from his job or
Yeah.
he doesn't have a job, I tell him not to do it. Like,
Right. And what can he do instead if he wants to sell products or something like that? Is there a different platform to do it, or is there a different way?
I mean, like, no, because basically they have to go in with the mindset that it's a real business. Because back in the days, it wasn't a real business. It was like a side thing. Okay, I was working in the restaurant and I can do Amazon and make money. It was working.
It was working.
But now you can't do it. You have to go into the full mindset, like this is my business, and you have to have the money to invest, and you need the time and patience to.
You need to have a real good product. It has
Yeah.
to be your own, I guess.
Yeah, it's like a real business. Like you open up any store, a shoe store. You know, it's not like you just do it on the side, whatever. You have to build a store. You have to invest money. You have to wait. You have to build marketing. Wait a few months to start making profits.
Right.
It's like a.
What do you think about all the small businesses that are happening now? In a certain sense, I see it as a little Amazon now. Like people are selling sourdough, meat boards, fish boards. Yeah, what do you think of that industry?
So I mean, I think the people that are doing it are not doing it. I mean, they're doing it as a business, but they're doing it out of it's more like a passion or a talent that anyway has, and it basically became a business. The same thing is with Amazon. By the way, if you anyway have a product, if you invented the product, you have to become an Amazon seller. So that's for sure. But it's not the other way around. I'm gonna become an Amazon seller because I don't like my job. But what am I gonna sell? People come like, what products can I sell? I want to become rich. It's not working. So same thing with all the sourdough, all this stuff. Usually started by either by chefs or bakers, whatever. So they anyway have the product. Now how they make it a business. So that's fine. I mean, the only question is how long the trend is going to be.
Right. Do you see money as a big driver for you personally, or was it more like your freedom? Or
yeah, it's more for me. I'm not. I don't get motivated for money. It's funny because I remember also in B&H there used to be at workers that they sometimes B&H they offered you to. I mean, you basically you got like a set wage. If you wanted to get more money, you had to. You had the option to work overtime. I never had that thing to work overtime to make more money.
No.
I mean, I was working overtime for my own things because I wanted to build something. Yeah. I wanted to do something, but not just to make more money because. So money really isn't something that drives. It's more like the ofti, you know, like how do you say it? Achievement. Yeah. Achievement and see people like really benefit from my stuff.
Right. I think that most people don't start businesses because they just don't know what they want to do. So they give up right there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like I want to be free and I want to have my own business and I want to have my own idea, but I'm not sure what I want to do. Or they're just afraid to take the jump. Like you quit your job multiple times to just because you wanted to chase to your real dream, to your real passion, to be free.
Yeah, it's only you have to be hungry. Like you have to want to get get to the next step or become do something.
Right. I remember for me personally, it was just 2 years ago that I quit / got fired from my job, literally, because so basically I was working in construction and I started just not showing up. I used to show up at 12 o'clock, leave at 3 o'clock, like I wasn't really doing, I made sure the work was getting done. I wasn't, but like I just started noticing, and then one day I get a call from my boss, and then he's like, "Yeah, we need to talk," and I'm like, "Yeah, I know, we need to talk." And he's like, "Sorry, I never thought I'll tell you this. You were so good, but there's no point in you staying here." And I was very okay with it. I was very into meditation, but I went in there like I was all the way ready for what he's going to say. So I remember leaving the office, and I was very happy, and I still had my one paycheck that I was going to live on. I'm a bucher, but so it didn't bother me really. But I remember it was right before Pesach. I went into Pesach, and then right after Pesach, I was like, okay, now shit's getting real. It's finally got to do. Yeah. And I remember I called him back, and I was like, yeah, sorry, I want my job back. And he told me, no problem, ken srikken for a starting wage. Ken srikken for $1,000 a week. I was making already at that point, I was making almost $3,000 a week. Oh, wow. So I gezegd, wow, du machst spieren van me. Like for that, I'm not coming back. So I remember my story was, ik was gerangezet bij Mechul in de heim, and I was like, Mechul, wat is die doen? And I remember I was listening a lot about Proctor, Tony Robbins, about follow your dream and find out. I was very motivated. I had this list of 10 ideas that I wanted to do. And one of the things were social media, because I was doing it for Mechul all the years. And I said, so Mechul told me, you're good on social media. En als dat malen iedereen kent aan een client, iedereen dat help on social media, the business cannot overgaan naar this. So I started doing it. So that's what I did. And I started reaching out to my friends, family, started doing sales. So that's where I got introduced to the whole dezelfde VD, like LinkedIn. LinkedIn, Instagram. I noticed that the more popular I am, the more people will know me and trust me, and and the more they'll have channels to reach out to me. And Baruch Hashem, now I have a successful social media company with 5-6 employees, and we do social media for about 20 brands now, including Klein's Naturals, Klein's Ice Cream. And they love it because they don't have to be busy with social media while we do the work, and they get all that exposure to the world. But the message is that you got to always take that jump. And I'm saying it because I was so afraid. Like, like that's how afraid I was. And I remember my family was supportive, but they were like, Eli, you want a job.
The family, they're trying to help you, but at the same time, they don't bring you down. They want to protect you, but they say, I think you need a job. I think you should go find a job. But so you have to find yourself. No, I'm not finding a job.
Right. I heard last week we had on the show David Koenigsberg. You know David for sure. Course, He's amazing. He's a good coach. He does branding and marketing. He said a very good point that I never thought about. He said, if you're working a job, that's okay. Some people are meant for that. But work a job that will teach you something. Like, I got with the construction because I knew that construction pays you a lot. It's the biggest paying job. If I were really to be me, I would work in a creative space. I would work in a place where I can write or do something creative. So that's a message to everybody holding a job. At least do something that you enjoy.
Exactly. It's also interesting because when I took the job, when I told the Amazon job, it's also when I was basically at the point that I decided, okay, I have to take a job. I decided I'm not going to take just any job. I'm going to take something it's going to help me in that too. And so at that point, I was into Amazon. I was like, let me find something in Amazon and see how I can build it. So actually, that job, even though it seemed like very bad in the beginning, but that actually built me up, like, and made me start my own business. Like after that, so if not that job, I'm not sure if I would have the business. So it came from that. So people have to be like patient and know that, okay, it's a process.
I think patience is the key word.
People are kind of rushing. I I want to be successful yesterday. Right?
Right. So Mechul taught me one of the most important lessons, and gesagt, every single day, do something. Do something. And he used to call me every day. Phone calls. Wow. He was very good at that, because I think that's really what it comes. And even somebody that has a job now, and always tell them, the research kostet kein Geld. Just make research. Get off of YouTube, whatever industry the host was machen sourdough, research how to make sourdough. Always tell this to people. They ask me, was auch team of our business? Hype on research. That's step number one. Once you're confident that you have it, that's what I used to do. I have my business social media every day. I got a policy. Every day I had to watch at least 10 minutes of how to create content and visit gaan viral.
That's great.
Impressive story. I'm curious in your mind, I want to finish up, but I'm curious in your mind, do you when they host the 8 shows, do you, they call it compartmentalize? Like, is jede eins in a different folder, or is it like one mishmash, and whenever you have patients, you work towards? Wie seht das da in office? Is that the Geraans, is Montag to free? So 8 shows coming up. What's happening? How do you work? You have folders, you have... Because I struggle in my business ook. Wo ist die, jeden Tag, ben entrepreneur. Wo ist die gaat, right? Ja, ga ik keren voor één, weer schrijft koiden, what's the...
Yeah, no, but it's very interesting behind the scenes, because, I mean, obviously we have tons of groups on WhatsApp. Everything goes to WhatsApp, right? Yeah. So we have one general group between the founders. So on that group is like a whole mixture. Every voice note is like about a different vendor.
Right,
it is, but then we have separate organized groups for each event, like each industry. So each event has different partners. So and it's funny because on the computer, like behind the scenes, I'm actually the one that organizes the company in like with folders and software and systems.
Oh wow!
So I'm actually building now some systems behind the scenes to make it easier.
Like check and they someone kicking them on the label list,
because it's so hard to keep track on. Each, for example, now we're running 4 events, and we have to order small things. Like, okay, this event was ordered. No, this needs a different.
Exactly. So how do you? So this you try to track.
It's all systems. You know, like
is it in your nature though to be organized? Is like that the kind of person you are?
So it's interesting because it's also things that I find out now. Because while you do it, you find out who you are.
Yeah.
So it's actually while you get pushed into something like force, and it's not force. Like it's like okay, we need to figure this out. Then you really shine, like it comes out like you're real. So I figured that I can't do, I mean, although I'm all over the place, like in my mind, but I feel like, okay, things need to be organized. This has to be here, this has to be there. So that's why I took it on in the company. I'm doing it like this. Everything it needs to have their own folder, their own file, their own system. Like in that case, it's very organized. And let's say if we have a phone call, okay, now we're talking about the healthcare show. Why are we doing healthcare? Okay, healthcare, I go over here. This is all information on the healthcare show. This is all So, I mean, it takes time.
It seems like you love it, though.
Yeah, I know. It's funny.
Sometimes I call myself a lazy entrepreneur. Like, I'm just here to be an entrepreneur. You seem very, passionate about it. You have so much going on.
I really enjoy it. I mean, it's interesting also the introvert part. I like to sit on my computer by myself and just do things. I mean, not everyone can, even my partners, they can't do it. Like, they have to run around and do certain things.
I find that the same. For me, I love sitting after a long shower and just editing a vlog or a podcast. I can relate a little bit to that. Yeah. How do you deal with the ups and downs of entrepreneurship? Like, how many times do you ask yourself, give up the show business, go back to B&H? I mean, does that ever still creep into your mind?
Yeah, but it's different if you have partners. Because I mean, for me, it's interesting because I never really wanted to have partners. I mean, I never had partners in my other businesses because I was like, I was
going to ask, how is it working with a partner? I mean,
I'm a person by myself. I like to do so. That's why it's also something that I keep improving, like the communication and the things that I'm not used to. I wasn't used to it. But if you have partners, one keeps motivating each other. Like when someone does the sales and he gets dismotivated because it doesn't work, whatever, then we come in, we push, and there's always exciting things, especially with events. Especially now that we do multiple events. It's always exciting. There's always something new and something interesting. It's not like every day the same thing. Right. So that's a big thing. And so partners is an interesting thing because it's sort of like a shidduch. Like you really have to have to find the right people. And also, I remember when I started the event business. Although I never really wanted to work with partners, it was also something that I never discussed it with them. But I was thinking to myself, should I do it? Like should I? Because I don't like to be committed to anything. I'm very free.
Right.
This.
Yeah.
So, but then I realized that I felt like the connection and the how do you call it, like the relationship. Like everyone has a different strengths, different thing, and it works fine. So that's something you have to make sure when you look for a partner.
Yeah.
Sometimes you think like, okay, with two guys, we're chilling together, we have the same personality, the same thing. It doesn't always work.
Wow.
You really need to find someone that has something that you don't have. I mean, everyone says it, but what is it?
Yeah.
It's so true. It's like a puzzle. Like everyone, the missing pieces, like it comes together beautifully.
Right. I think the most valuable thing in life in general are people, whether it's a friend, sometimes a spouse, children, whatever it is. But people underestimate people. They don't understand what difference it makes. Every good thing in your life that happened, generally speaking, comes from another person.
Yeah.
So your connections, they say your network is your net worth. It's that kind of concept. You also love to travel, right?
Travel, not. I mean, I love it, but I mean, I should be traveling more. But
Is that your way of? Is that your outlet?
no, not really. I mean, I don't travel a lot, to be honest. I have different things, different outlets.
Definitely travel local. Sounds like you love the road
No,
trips. on the road.
for the events is we have to go check out venues. So that's something, you know. For me, I usually sit in the office. I told you like I like sitting in the office on my computer
Yeah.
do things. But sometimes we have to go check venues and see check it out, whatever. So that's when we take like a road trip in Machtamatze.
Yeah.
It looks fun, but it's a lot of hard work that you don't post. We only post the fun part.
Right.
So yeah.
People know that you love instruments, saxophone. People see you here and there
How do people
playing.
know that? No.
At least I know. So, how many instruments do you play? First of all,
I don't even know. I don't know, but it's just when I go to the store, I see a funky, interesting instrument, I buy it, and I figure
Oh,
it out.
really? When did you develop this talent of music?
So it's a good question. So I was never really into music. I mean, I was trying to grow up. I was in Monroe and South Wales, and she was like, there was no such thing as playing. So when I became like an older boeger, believe this,
Yeah.
voorbeginners, I was kind of living by myself in this. So that's when I started exploring myself, like I get to know myself.
Wow.
And it's gewoon going to see, like I always liked music, but I never really had the chance and opportunity to really like play, try an instrument. I remember one day I was walking into I was in Brooklyn somewhere. There was like a rental, like an instrument rental on this. So I used to hang out there. I became friends with the owners. I used to go in there and schmooze and test different like play around with different instruments. I felt so good because like I would see that at weddings. Like wow, now I hold it in my hands. And it's funny that I started playing. I told the guy once. At first he didn't let me. He was like, "Come on, why do you know? Like you're not gonna touch my instruments." So, but I kept feeling the connection. So I told him once, I just want to try it. Like I want to see, I want to feel it. And funny, that I picked it up and I right away could play. Like,
Wow.
so he was surprised. He's sitting here, he never told me about anything because I'm not talking a lot. I'm not saying what I do, what I can. So he didn't even know. I was just schmoozing like randomly. And all of a sudden, I can play. So I told him, maybe you can buy it at an apartment, whatever. Maybe I can rent it for a few weeks and just play around. So he rented me one. I was sitting in my apartment. I was playing with. I just learned it quickly. So as I grew up, I started connecting with more instruments, different instruments, and just playing. I never really took it professionally, whatever.
Right.
But
here and there,
yeah,
mitzvot, yeah, shows.
it's like an outlet for me. It's like there's this is like my car. Like when every person was born with a talent or whatever, but they just need to figure it out. I'm the kind of person that I'm always searching. I'm always searching. Like,
right. What's the next big thing?
That's a secret.
Do you know?
Yeah, that's also like it's funny because we feel like, for example, now I'm into events, but I'm not gonna get stuck there. Something's gonna come out of this, like become even bigger. So I'm not sure when, but I'm open for it. You always gotta be open and accept and flexible.
So powwowevents.com, powwowevents.com, and people can see all the shows coming up.
Yeah, so the upcoming shows. And each show is like a brand for itself, like home care, healthcare, real estate,
Palooza, yeah. I'm excited for that one.
We just announced
When is it? Right after Shvius?
It's before Shvius, huh? Yeah.
Even before Shvius?
It's on May 30th. So the first show is a real estate show. It's
March, April, May. In 6 weeks? Wow, 6 weeks.
Yeah, so in these 6 weeks, we have April 9th is the real estate show. Then May 12th is the She Expo for the ladies.
She Expo, yeah.
And
Can I get an M?
You can start growing in this.
Well, I'll send my, by the way, maybe I should. Oh, no, does it have to be women owned or just a women's show? Because my entire team are women.
Yeah, no.
So
fine.
can I send them?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, cool.
And you can sneak in under the table, say, I'm the owner.
Director.
Okay.
Get me a bat. And then May 30 is
May 30 is Palooza.
I'm excited for that one. You took food shows to the next level, clearly. I mean, you took it from a show that was so smart, in my opinion. It was so genius, taking it from a show that was only for food brands to a show that can be for everyone.
Consumers,
Everybody's a consumer. Come on, everybody's a consumer. The kosher food industry, because it's so small, is so big. Zeg maar. So if you have ich verkoop challah morgen, ben ik een millionaire. That's the kosher food industry.
Right. People are busy with trade. People don't realize that the consumers are
they make up for all the sales.
They make the decision which product is popular, which product is the brand should buy.
Right.
Right.
And food is life.
Because it's interesting. Last year, even though it was targeted for consumers, there was a lot of business deals going on between the vendors and people. Because you never know.
You never know. I always tell people, go to a show with zero expectations.
Yeah.
Let things fall into place.
Right.
When you go with an expectation, you chase and you're just you have the tunnel vision. You're focused on one thing.
Exactly.
Just go.
But the different expectation, and talking about expectations, also, I think you asked me in the beginning what makes me happy or whatever. I think it's expectations that I don't have any expectations. I try to live without expectations because that really makes a difference in a person's stress and anxiety. They come to a place or they go somewhere and they don't get what they expect. They get all like this. So.
Do you ever meditate? You seem like you constantly meditate. Like you're in a meditative state. I would call it. You're chilled, relaxed.
They call it a loner, I like to be myself a lot, so that's when I'm
automatically you're meditating. You read books, like business books.
For some reason, books I can't read.
Do you enjoy audio?
I have tons of books in my office because I'm an entrepreneur. I'm gonna read books. And all of a sudden, I start reading a book, and then also my mind is all over the place, and I keep reading, and I have no idea what I'm reading because my mind is thinking about something else. I can't read. So
Are you an overthinker?
Not an overthinker. It's just. I'm not sure if I get stuck in let's say if I read a sentence and I start thinking about that sentence, but my eyes keep reading and I'm still thinking about that sentence. It's
it's creative.
Yeah. It's always different ideas. So that's why I decided, I'm not reading books. I learn from my own experience.
Wow, very nice. Anything else you want to share at Klalisul?
Because
I started this podcast and I thought I'll have 200-300 views. I'm serious. That's what I imagine. 200-300 people will listen, and that will be
low
good
expectations.
Yeah. You're right. By the way, I wanted to touch on that. No expectations is very important. Tony Robbins, which is the biggest in self-help, and I just like this person. He helped me a lot, and just from listening to reading his books. He always says the number one thing in life is expectations. When your reality doesn't meet the expectation, boom, disappointment.
Exactly,
right? When you're 18 is me weer engaged, you're 19 or 20, 21. The elder you become, you expect to have that business already by Pesach and you don't have it. Expectations messes you up. So I think it's beautiful that you touched that you don't have to have expectations and then you're just in the flow and it comes easy. But with the podcast also, I didn't have expectations. I just did it because it's my hobby. People say, why do you have a podcast? And they get shocked what I answer. I answer because I have a hobby to express myself. This keeps me going.
Right.
But then I love what you said also, the eine gute Sache bringt the andere, because I decided to make the podcast and be consistent. And it brings out for me good things. I'll tell you why. Not because the deals and the people that listen, but because it means that I have to take myself on a Motzei Shabbos and come out and spend time.
Right.
Something that usually I would just sit and do nothing. Or a Sunday sometimes, it's an extra day I don't work, I have the time to do the podcast. So, eine gute Sache bringt the andere. And from meeting you, you never know what it brings. You do a good action. Yeah. So I started with 200-300 people expecting to watch, and then I noticed that just thousands of people watch it. And this is what I can track. But I also noticed I saw this week 300 people shared the podcast. And then I know that people have it, Bucharam have it in Yeshiva. And then I see it and it's on Eivelt and in Yiddish videos that like, wow, like this was my little baby, like it was a little thing, and now people are really enjoying it, and I'm grateful for that, and it's something special. So, anything else you want to share to the world? That was the...
I don't know. I constantly share things. There's things that came up, that comes up. That's just,
So Mac has a few instruments over here, and he wants to show us. So we want to Lakovad Udir, because this is coming out now, the Vach of Piram.
Wow.
And it's a time to be besimcha.
Shame.
Wow. Okay, into the brush. Gemeint into the instrument.
So this is something else. I don't know. I found it. Someone posted about it. I think on Facebook or whatever. It sounded so nice that I just bought it, and I'm playing. I'm figuring it out. I haven't touched it in a while, so let's see if it still works. Interesting. I need some warm-ups.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's nice. Like you turn on music, you just play along, and that's the machine. Same thing as with this. This is like a very interesting instrument.
Wow, this is the ganze Instrument? Can machen a Positivity logo.
Is it there? So vaktaras in it?
Wo ist der Tag das? Wo ist das unique, mehr wie das ist?
This is unique. This is time when the food translated on the highway. The music out do that you here you need to use both hands. This is just like you sit and drive, hand on the steering wheel like
Wow, geweldig. Very nice, yeah. So thank you very much, Mac Schlesinger, for sharing all of the beautiful things you shared. It's truly inspiring. Because so Sachen was Menschen sharen, so thank you for being vulnerable and because it inspires so many people. And Rabbi Sai, please like, share, and subscribe. It means a lot. Like the episode, leave a comment because it tells me the direction of the podcast and what we can do and what we can change. And subscribe. Like this, you get every episode, and Mitchen will make bonus clips. We're going to try to work it up. This is now what I'm very passionate about. And make sure to check out Powwow events and all the events coming up. The Rebeach, the She Show. That's what it's called, the She Show. So this was a tongue, right? She events.
Yeah, She Expo, whatever.
The She Expo.
A few versions.
And Kosher Palooza coming up. I will and be there, so make sure that you are there. It's going to be very exciting. Also want to thank our sponsor of the episode, ONP Prints, and they made those beautiful caps and mugs, but trying to get the Zachen, and all the best. Thank you so much.